Hi everybody, this is CR number 25, extended response, helper video number 1. It says solve the following system graphically. We have negative 2x plus 4y equals 4 and x minus 2y equals 6. The first thing we have to do is put this into y equal, oh gee, that's really big. Hold on, let me just make this thinner. There we go. Y equals mx plus b format, and I'm sorry about that sloppy looking y there. And if I look here, I need the y by itself, and I'm noticing here that I have a negative 2x and a 4 with the y. So the first thing I do is I go ahead and take care of those x's. And the only way I can actually zero out the number of x's, I'm talking about zeroing them out, I don't want any x's on this side, is to do the opposite of a negative 2x, which is a positive 2x. It's the only way I can zero out both the x and the negative 2 from that side. Now remember, anything I do to one side, I do to the other. So these zero out, which is what I want. And I'm left with 4y equals 2x plus 4. Now, I still don't have that y by itself. So the only way now I can get the y by itself. Now remember, I'm not trying to get rid of the y. I'm only trying to get rid of the 4. So that is why now I'm looking at how the 4 and the y are connected. And that is multiplication. And the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide every single term by 4. Now remember, I'm dividing this time, not subtracting this time, because I want to keep the y here. I only want to get rid of the 4. So I'm left with y equals, and I could leave this as 2/4 x. There's nothing wrong with that as a slope, but I'm going to simplify it to 1/2. Because both the top and the bottom can be divided by 2. So I have y equals 1/2 x, and then 4 divided by 4 is a positive 1. So this is the first equation that I'm going to graph. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some points down. I start with my y-intercept of positive 1. I put a point there. And then my slope is a positive 1/2, so I know it should go uphill going left to right. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 2. Up 1 and to the right 2. Up 1 and to the right 2. And I'm doing this all the way across the page because when I graph a system of equations, you never know where the solution may be. Going up and to the right 2 is the same as going down and to the left 2. And I'm going to do this across the page on this side as well. There we go. I go ahead and I will connect that with a line. And please try to remember that your line needs to go beyond your points because you also need to put arrows at the end. And then to make this final, I will have to go ahead and put the equation right on my line. So this is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. This is what will give you full credit right here. So now let's take a look at our second one. I'm going to do this in a different color. There we go. First thing I'm going to do is take a look if this is in y equals mx plus b format. It is not. So I need to get the y by itself once again. So my first step is to subtract x on both sides because it's a positive x and I want to zero it out. I'm left with negative 2y equals, and I always write my x's first. I'm going to put a 1 in front of it because I'm trying to deal with a slope. So minus 1x plus 6. I now need to divide every single term by negative 2, and the reason why I'm dividing by a negative 2 is because I still want the y on that side, but I have to get rid of the negative 2. These go ahead and cancel out. I'm left with y equals, now a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 1/2 is just still 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1/2 x, and then a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So there we go. I have now rewritten this into y equals mx plus b format, and I'm going to go ahead and graph that. First, I graph my y-intercept of negative 3. It's a positive slope, so it should go uphill left to right, and it's up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. And once again, I do this across the page, because you never know if they're going to meet. I'm hoping you've already seen something though. Right now, as I connect these points here with my straight line, I'm noticing already that these lines look like they are parallel. And remember, when lines are parallel, that means they never touch. If they never touch, that means there is no solution. So let me go ahead and put y equals 1/2 x. And you'll notice that you know there's no solution by looking at the equations because they have the same slope but different y-intercepts. So when it comes down here to solution, I'm just going to put no solution. All right, there's my first question. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go down to my next question. Solve the following equation and you must show all work. Well, this is bringing back some memories. First thing I have to do is I have to distribute whatever's on the outside to everything on the inside of the parentheses. So -4 times 4x is -16x. -4 times +10, well, a negative times a positive is a negative, and 4 times 10 is 40. And then on the other side, I still have -12x minus 88. Now, what many of you like to do is you like to go ahead and draw your ladder. So now would be a great time to do that. And then I always like to write down that I want my variables here on the left, because I do like my variables on the left, and my constants on the right. By saying this, I'm going to look at my left side and I'm realizing I have constants there that I need to bring over to the right side. Well, how do I zero out a -40? Well, I do the opposite. I will add 40. Anything I do to one side, I do to the other. Notice that I'm lining them up underneath the correct term because these are like terms. These cancel out. I'm left with -16x equals -12x. And then I have more negatives than positives, and I actually have 48 more negatives. Now, because I still want my variables on the left side, I have variables here on the right side that I have to zero out. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 12x to both sides so that I can zero it out on the right side and put them all on the left side. I have more negatives than positives. 16 minus 12 then is 4x's. And I bring that negative down because I have more negatives. So now I just have a -48 on this side. Well, now it's just a one-step equation. I divide both sides by -4. And guess what? A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So x is equal to 12. Bam. Good luck with yours.